Good morning. Happy June. June the 1st. Look at that. Hope you guys are well. In this video lesson, I've got some important announcements for you and taking up the work that I gave you late last week on the division of powers. What's federal responsibility, what's provincial, what's local. And you'll see here I've got the answers posted. I'll just have a little commentary on that. But some important announcements. First, you guys are going to get access to your lockers at school, or at least the locker contents. Not sure how this is going to work out. The school, the administration, our principal and vice principals and the board have been trying to figure this out for weeks. How do we let kids get, to their lockers to get their personal stuff but while still social distancing, and how's that all going to work? And the public health unit doesn't like people in the building. Not sure how that's going to work out, but my understanding is that within the week you're going to get an email from the school telling you how it's going to work. So I don't know how you're getting access or how you're getting your stuff, but it is going to start happening soon. Exams. Culminating projects. You know that it's usually 70-30, 70% term, 30% final, whether that's an exam or a project. The school board has provided some real flexibility because of this unusual situation. So your individual teachers in each of your classes is going to decide how to do this. It might be 70-30, it might be 80-20, it might be 90-10, or your teacher might waive the final completely and just evaluate you, assess you based on your term work. I spoke with Ms. Jenner, who's the other civics teacher, and we decided we were talking about an exam, but online, it's difficult. So we've decided there's going to be a culminating project, and it will be worth 30% of your overall mark. So just the way it normally is done at school. So your 70% is the term. You've had 3 Citizens Handbook writing assignments. You're going to be getting just one more, number 4. We're going to have a test. And so for those 5 assessments I'm going to come up with a term mark. Then you'll get a culminating project that's worth 30%, and that will get us to the end of the line. And you will get a normal report card in June, what you're accustomed to, marks, comments, work habits, that sort of thing. So that is all coming. Tomorrow, you're going to get Citizens Handbook Writing Assignment number 4. It's an interesting one. It's coming tomorrow. It's going to be due early next week, probably Monday, June the 8th. That will be it for Citizens Handbooks. Just looking at my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, as far as the culminating project in civics, Ms. Jenner and I decided we would put one together, literally. So you will have the same culminating project as the other civics classes, and they'll all be worth 30% of your overall mark. Let's see. I think the way it's going to work, I'll let you know tomorrow for sure. You get a Citizens Handbook writing assignment tomorrow. It's number 4. It'll be due next Monday. Next Monday, June the 8th. My plan at this point is to give you a test. You work on this test at home, and then you submit it into Google Classroom when you're done. And then the following week on the 15th, Monday the 15th, I'm expecting that's when you're going to get your exam. Again, it's a I'm sorry, I got that wrong. You're going to get your culminating project that's worth 30%. Sorry about that. You'll have the week to work on that. You hand that in the following week around the 22nd, or I can be a little bit flexible. But I have to mark them all. I have to put together report cards. And we haven't been told when it has to be done, but I suspect later that week. And we don't even know are they going to be mailed home to you? Will you pick them up? We don't know. So we haven't been given the deadline from our principal. My thought was, too, that since you just can't cover a whole course the way we're doing things here, limiting to 3 hours a week and that sort of thing, I might throw in the odd lesson between now and the end. Obviously, you're not going to be tested on it, but if civics is of interest to you, you might find that interesting. And I thought, this Friday, for those of you who are interested, we'll do a little Google Meet online. I'm thinking Friday at 2 o'clock. This is not schoolwork. This is not an extra assignment or bonus marks. It's just some of you, may have an interest in politics And normally we have a lot of discussion in the classroom. We get to really dig into some things, Canadian politics, American politics, other things that we just haven't been able to do. So if you kind of thought, we kind of missed out, been ripped off a little bit here, haven't had those interesting conversations, what I'll ask you to do is send me an email today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. And just to say I'm in for the Google Meet on Friday at 2. I'm not keeping, it's not like, oh, bonus marks, Jimmy said he's in, or Susie said she's not, X by her, and it's not like this. This is truly optional. It doesn't matter if 2 of you sign up or 22. Just if you're interested. And on Thursday, or I'll work this out, I'll send an invitation to those people who've expressed an interest. Then Friday and 2, we can just have a conversation about politics, how this all works, maybe a bit about the pandemic and how that relates, or the U.S. presidential election. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll do. But it is optional. And I realize, some people have trouble getting access. That's why I like to post these things on YouTube and Google Classroom, so that if you don't have access during our regularly scheduled time, you're not disadvantaged. All right, so I think I've covered all the bases there. That was a lot. Take a look at I've uploaded this. Take a look at the answers, that kind of little quiz I gave you. How are these things divided up? You see the answers here. Our founding father, Sir John A. Macdonald, our first prime minister, he didn't even want to have provinces. Let's just have Canada. We'll all be Canadian. We could have local governments where you elect a mayor to run, things in your town. But most of the other founding fathers said, country's too big. That doesn't work. We need to have provinces. There's the whole English versus French thing, too. Quebecers, felt, they were always outnumbered. And in a democracy, it's not good to be outnumbered. They thought we need to have our own province where we can make some decisions for ourselves about language and school and that sort of thing. So we have provinces. And probably best. This is too big a country, I think, to have everything operating out of Ottawa. So I'm just looking through the list here, and I hope you're looking through the list too. I suspect most of them were common sense, and that, you probably guessed right or had a hunch. The Army, it makes sense that we have a Canadian Army, not like an Ontario Army and a Manitoba Army. I mean, what's that? Schools, I threw in universities. I wonder if that would throw you a curve. Education is the responsibility of the provincial governments. And I told you that high schools were already, so universities. So that means for high school, we've talked about that before, sorry. Now, if you take a look, though, it raises the question, why is it that if you ride the school bus to school, the little yellow bus, you don't pay? But if you ride the Stratford bus to the school, you pay. What's the deal there? A bus is a bus, right? Well, school buses are provincially funded, and Stratford City buses are locally funded. And the province decided, we want to build schools for everybody. We want everyone to have access to them. And if people live farther away, they shouldn't be disadvantaged, so we'll provide them a bus, no charge. Whereas in town, if anyone needs to use local transit, you're going to have to pay. Doesn't have to be that way. That's simply the way decisions have been made. You notice we have 3 levels of police: the RCMP at the federal level, OPP provincially, and your local police department. They do coordinate, but they are separate entities. Alrighty, so I'm coming at you with Citizens Handbook Writing Assignment number 4 tomorrow. It's a little bizarre. Might even seem like weird, but it is legit. It's a legitimate question I'll ask you to look into, and there is a pandemic tie into it that I'll touch on a little bit, and perhaps some of you will touch on that when you write your assignment. Alrighty? Hang in there, folks. Any questions about anything, fire me an email. And if you're up for the Google Meet on Friday, definitely fire me an email. Take care.